Hello everyone, welcome to Jim's Garage Toys. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be installing some performance solenoids, some VVTi solenoids from Quantum Solenoid on my 2009 Corolla S Turbo today. I've got these on my Corolla IM and I really liked how they worked in conjunction with the other mods I did. I think it was a big part of the drastic improvement I got on that car. And after doing some research and talking to a lot of other people with boosted cars, they said they noticed a very nice improvement on those also, even more so than a normally aspirated car. So I bought a set for my 2009 Corolla Turbo, and it's got the new QS2 intake, the second version of it. And so I'm going to install intake and exhaust Quantum Solenoids on that car. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the little container they came in. Open that up. A little QS2 decal that they include. And here are the two solenoids inside. So I'll go ahead and open those up and show you those. So I just took them out of the bag. So here's the intake one, labeled QS2. They do not have a second version for the exhaust. The exhaust one is still the original version. So, and you know, I've never been able to truly quantify what I felt with these on my other cars, but I did notice that when I had them on, I noticed some difference. The biggest thing I noticed is on my 2017 Corolla IM, I had them on for a long road trip, about 4,500 mile road trip. Loved the benefit with the other mods I had. I got home, I took them off and put the OEM ones back on for about 30 days, and I really noticed something was missing. I couldn't tell you exactly what, but it just didn't feel the same. So it's kind of that, you know, when you're driving it and you just notice that there's a little something extra or not something extra. So I put it back on and what I was missing came back. So it's doing something. And so I figured, why not? So life's too short to worry about some of these little things. So I ordered a set of these, and we will get started. I also ordered one, and I'll be putting this one on. This is just an intake one for my 2006 Scion XB. So I've got one on that now too, just a original version, the version 1. So I'm going to put this on my car, and I'm actually going to install the version 1 on my daughter's Toyota Yaris, which has the same engine as my Scion. So that'll be fun. That'll be a little something extra for her. She likes driving that hard and ripping around with it because it's a 5-speed manual. So anyway, so this is this. Let's go ahead and I'll pop the cover off here. Expose the 2ZR FE turbo goodness. So anyway, here are the solenoids. So there's one right there, and here's one right here. So this is the intake, and this is the exhaust back here. So there is one little 10mm screw holding each one on. So this is a very simple install, and you have to unclip the clip and then pop that out and pop the new one in, and it's good to go. They do recommend, Quantum Solenoid recommends disconnecting the battery so that the ECU can relearn with the parameters quicker, so with what it's doing. But let's go ahead and get started. So to get started here, we got to take off this clip, and there's a little push tab on this, but these push tabs have a mind of their own. So sometimes I find using a small screwdriver to help pull up on that. There we go. On the end, loosens it a lot easier than struggling with it. So I'll try to turn this around so you can see it. And here's the tab I'm talking about. And generally you push on that, but sometimes it doesn't lift up enough. So if you put the little screwdriver in the slot right here and just give it some help, it pops up and off usually pretty easily. So, well, getting the screwdriver in there was of little luck. So I want to try these strangely shaped needle nose pliers because I can pinch the little tab there. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Well, that was easy. Yeah, so I just couldn't get it in this little slot there. Couldn't see where it was and didn't have any luck, so went to plan B. All right, so both connectors are off now for the intake and exhaust. So let's go ahead and loosen the 10mm bolt. Don't lose them. Now, once again, this one's kind of tucked back in there a little bit. I might have to actually do this one by hand, but let's see if I can finagle this back into space. There we go. There we go. Hey, sometimes it's just a little bit of determination. Okay, so step one, we got both bolts loose and we got both wiring harnesses loose. So now, if you just kind of twist them, I find that if I can get this little tab turned up, then it helps me. There's usually a little seal, suction seal, there we go, from the O-ring. There's an O-ring right there. So, and you can see, look at the, I'll do this, but look at the difference in the size of, I mean, from the O-ring down, the probe part of it is the same, but look at the size of the difference. It's huge. The Quantum Solenoid is a lot bigger. So spread a little bit of, I spread a little bit of oil down around the O-ring there just so it seats and seals properly. So I try to line up the tab here so it's oriented correctly. Scratch that. Helps if I grab the right one. So it's still a lot bigger. Although it is interesting that the QS2, I'll show this to you, the QS2 is a little more streamlined. It's not quite as large in diameter, but it's slightly, if I put these here, you can see how it's slightly longer, but it's not quite as fat. Huh, interesting. So I always wonder what they change, you know, internally, what changed. So, but anyway, we'll get this seated. A little twist as it goes in. There we go. Snap. And I can tell that this, oh, I don't want to drop that down there. It's bound and determined. Oh, God. Come on. Luckily, the turbo's right there. It just sat on the turbo. There we go. So, but, because this one, the way they mount is different. As you can see here, the intake one goes the same direction as the solenoid, and the exhaust is a 90 degree, the way the connector is. So then, do the same, well, that was easy. Do the same thing with the exhaust one. Yeah, see, on the OEM ones, trying to show this to you, the OEM ones are the same diameter and length. So, very interesting. Okay. So this goes down. There's also the 10 millimeter nut also holds there's a little bracket that goes through that also. So a little twist, there we go. You just hear it kind of snap into place. So, okay, get that lined up. There we go. Get that lined up. You're kind of working blind on this. So, because what you want to do is you want to get it through the little tab for the bracket too. There's a tab that bolts the wiring harness down. Is what it is. So, let's see if I can get this started. It's always the trickiest part. It's just getting the thing to bite the first through few threads. Oh, hey, there we go. Success. Okay. Yes. Okay. It's through the tab on the bracket, and it's through the tab on the solenoid. So this one's real easy to see. Got a lot more room to work also. So get a couple turns on there. There we go. So now I know I can get this down in there and make this a little bit easier. Tight spaces. There we go. Now, you're bolting in. You're running that bolt into the aluminum head valve cover area, so do not over tighten. It doesn't need to be super tight. So, it's not going anywhere. All right. Loud noises with that, sorry. It's not loud in person, but that mic amplifies it. So, once those are done, just take the connectors and make sure when you push, make sure you hear the click. There we go. So that way you know it's on there. There we go. Click on both. Check to make sure. There we go. They're both installed, and that is a job done. So thank you for joining me today, everybody. Hope that helps for anybody interested in doing this. It's an easy install. I imagine that some other cars might be a little different, but on the 4-cylinder one with the VVTi solenoids right on the top, it's pretty easy to get to. If If you have any questions, feel free to holler at me in the comments section. And appreciate it if you subscribe and hit the like button. Help us little guys out a little bit too in the sea of big YouTubers. And I will see you on my next video. Thank you very much.